All right, I just wanted to talk about what a personal trainer actually sells. You know, when you see people online selling you personal training, the value that they're trying to provide is, once you get your health in the right standing, once you lose that 30, 40, 50 pounds that you've always wanted to lose, then everything will be fine. You know, you're going to show up better. You're going to have more confidence in yourself because of that. So you'll show up better, and then people will respect you, and you'll be holding yourself accountable. Which all those things are true, right? And so the personal trainer will tell you, once you do that, then your relationships will improve because your relationship with yourself is improved. And your relationship with business will improve because you're taking more accountability over your own body. So that will translate into your work. And then your marriage will improve because you're keeping yourself in shape for that person, so the intimacy can continue, and your kids are gonna respect you more because they see that you put work in and you stay in shape and you take care of yourself and you prioritize that, and so they can pick that up for themselves. And all of that is true in a sense, some more so than others, but that is what personal training is selling. And as a personal trainer, that is what I sell. Now, caveat, the physical, right? Your body, that relationship is a way to seek improvement, but it's not the end goal. Because when you lose the 30 pounds, when you start to look better, when you create that muscle of, when you exercise that muscle of discipline and you honor yourself in the right way with nutrition and you lose the weight and all that stuff, you still have to deal with other insecurities and other fears and whatever hopelessness you feel in certain moments of your life. And no amount of miles on the road or on the treadmill, no amount of, burpees is going to change that. The relationship with your inner child, your younger self, the boy that was hurt, the girl that was hurt, that's gonna have way more effect on your life and on the improvement of your life, not just for you, but for others, than the weight loss journey or the get in shape journey will ever do. That's a big step along the way, right? And if you don't take care of your body, if you don't work out, eat properly, then you're not going to have a good relationship with yourself. And so all these other character traits are not going to develop in a certain way where you have respect for yourself. But, and you need all that because it translates into, dealing with fears and insecurities and hopelessness. But it only moves the needle so much. Like if there was a graph on like how much getting in shape improves everything else in your life, and this is like the max, and this is the base, like this is the base, it would probably get you here. Maybe to 50%. But that last 50%, or and maybe just get you to 49%, but that last 51, that stuff is so much about your heart and your relationship with God and your relationship with forgiveness and accepting that you're not perfect, you're not supposed to be perfect, and all these things, and that's why I'm such an advocate for psychedelic therapy, because that kind of bridges that gap. It doesn't make your life like, okay, I've maxed out, I don't have to do anything else, but it gives you that bridge to be like, okay, that's the end goal. A state where I have been forgiven by God. I can forgive myself. I've learned from my mistakes. in a way that I don't have to continually shame myself and feel guilty all the time for it, but that I can move past it into a new life, as a new person, because I have reconciled with it and given that younger self, that younger version of myself, so much grace that it's not scared anymore. That little boy is not scared. That little boy does not feel insignificant. That little boy does not feel inferior. And the insecurities are noticed. You see it for what it is. Okay, that's because of this, and this. This happened to me. This is how I reacted. I could have done this, but at the time I couldn't have because of where I was. So there was no better way for me to respond because I was so, stuck in my ways or like locked in this, thought pattern. And so you finally have this like immense amount of grace for yourself. And that is the bridging of the gap for that last 51%. And so after the psychedelic therapy, it's all the prayer, it's all the meditation, it's all the, relationship building, it's all the accountability that you take in your life, and the gratitude that you can that you have for the life that you do have, and the life that you did have, that all the things you went through. All of that is this churning, this process that is going to help you enjoy your life, be more satisfied with, what God has given you, even though it's just a little bit, it's just the breath in your lungs, you're grateful for it. So, and a personal trainer who just knows how to teach you how to move or how to build muscle or how to eat nutritionally or track your macros or, count your calories, they can't provide that because they're still dealing with their own stuff and they haven't figured out their stuff. They've just figured out how to work out and stay healthy. So for me as a trainer, because I've been on this journey of personal relationship with Christ my whole life, not saying perfectly, but at least there was an attempt going on, right? I've made so many mistakes. I make them every day. I am as sinful as anybody, and I need forgiveness just as much as anybody. And because of that, and because I realized that even more so through my psychedelic therapy, I can give that to people. Like I can forgive because I've been forgiven for stuff that I felt like I could never be forgiven for, or given grace for. So, because I've been able to do that for myself, I've been training people, and they've witnessed me go through that, and that's built, good relationships, and but also it's allowed me to teach and give what I have and what I've learned to them, and add on another layer to personal trainer, nutritionist. So as far as like, creating online content as a personal trainer, yeah, you can give your takes on, this is how I do push-ups. This is a different way to do a push-up, blah, blah, blah. But none of that shit actually, really changes the things that matter the most. Like, switching up your grip on a dumbbell fly is not going to make you more understanding for towards your spouse. It's not going to make you take a stand in your relationship against your spouse when you need to, in love. So what? I mean, what the the fuck is this? The grip on my fly, how valuable is that? It's not that valuable. So, being able to provide more as a personal trainer is actually the goal. And people don't tell you this. Because if somebody were to tell, no one told me that being a personal trainer is going to have you in the homes of people who make really good money and don't need you, right? They don't need you, but they choose to have you in your home. They choose to do business with you because of a value that you give. Now, the value that you really give as a personal trainer is relating with that person, coaching that person, being forgiving of that person, showing up, being accountable to that person, making sure they're accountable to themselves and to you. There's respect there that you form in a healthy way. And you become a supporter of them and their life, them in their marriage, them in their relationship with their kids, them and their relationship with their career and business. Like, I'm there to cheer on all my clients' wins, and I'm there to, sit in the losses, like, that's part of it. So, nobody ever told me that, but that's what it is when you really become a trainer. And, and when you're blessed to have, the type of clients that I have great people that I train. We all think differently, but we have a lot of things in common. And the main thing in common that we have is how we treat each other. We choose to treat each other with respect, and we choose not to make the training about how much it is an hour. They know I'm there for them. Like, I'm not here to collect the money. I'll take the money, but this is you need to do this. You need to work out. I'm going to make sure you're working out today. I trust you'll pay me. Okay? And if you don't pay me, then all that shit we were talking about, how much we care about our family and how much we care about, providing for our families and all that stuff, and how, you can't let money change who you are and turn you into a goblin and, just an asshole of a person. You do remember we just talked about that. Okay, cool. All right. So, there's an accountability there that is established from the relationship that's built. And that's what I see. Like, it's a very hard thing for me to talk to other people about training because, training is a very rare thing that someone actually does. Coaching in general is a very rare thing. Most people go their whole lives without coaching anybody else. The only coaching they ever do is like with their kids, and they suck. Parents suck at coaching because they don't coach. So if you don't have the reps in trying to get people who have no blood relationship with you to listen to you and grow and succeed at something, you've never done that ever. You've just told yourself what to do. And then you have kids and you're trying to tell them what to do. You suck at it. And I've been blessed. My dad was a coach. My brother was a coach. I am a coach. And we've been blessed. Coaching others is such a blessing because it preps you for parenthood, because you got all kinds of personalities on your team that you gotta find a way to help them get out of their own way. And the more as a coach I do that for myself, the more as a coach that I get out of my own way and practice getting out of my own way, the more I can be able to help my clients, my athletes, learn how to get out of their own. And the more grace I can show myself through that process, the more grace I can receive from God in that process, the more I can give, the more grace I can give to other people in that process, and hopefully be a guide for them to grow in the way that they need to grow for themselves. Because at the end of the day, I can't do the growing for anybody. Look, just like nobody can help me with my own growth. I'm stunted at where I'm at because of me. You know, I'm in my way. And I'm also the one that can get out of my own way. So, you know, it's that building that relationship with your clients, your athletes, and showing them, hey, this is what we're doing here. I'm helping you get out of your own way. You're going to be a state champion because you can be a state champion. I am here to facilitate that and to show you how to navigate who you are as a person so that you can get there. But I can't do it for you. You know? And I've had mentors in my life teach me that. My dad, my coaches, Cliff and Cliff Travis, Bo Norwood, Corey Travis, and then my college coaches, Robbie Waller, Jack Spates, and then his son Jeremy Spates, you know. All the coaches in some way have affected me. You know, my personal trainer when I was in high school, Mike Keever. You know, my football coaches growing up. You know, all of it is like informative to a young man and to a young girl. It's like, hey, look, you know, got to get out of your own way. You are in your way. Man, there's a lot to coaching and a lot that I did not know and was not aware of, but, you know, providentially, by the grace of God, I was on the path. I was coaching myself. And I've never given up that process. And I think a lot of people, you know, maybe they haven't started that process or maybe they haven't, you know, they're scared of it, but it's really not scary because all you got to do is start, follow someone who's doing it and just mimic them, you know, listen to them and you'll be right in it. The fear of starting, getting out of your own way it's just that, it's fear. It's not real because the way I'd like to think of it is like, you know, the potential that could happen. Oh, well, things will get tougher because I'm trying to improve. Yes, and then you will grow. You know, a tough situation will provide growth opportunity for you. And so that's going to be more valuable to you. That strenuous situation is going to be more valuable to you than the state that you're in right now, holding it off. You know, not letting the ownership begin. So, anyways, those are just some thoughts I've just been thinking.